right, what's happening? Welcome. I know we've got a pretty big audience today, so welcome in, and we're going to jump into it in just a minute. If you are just joining, I would love to hear where you are based. Drop something in the chat. Feel free to tell me where you're based, and anything that's on your mind right now with relation to Amazon would be great. Today's going to be fun. We're going to do a bunch of things that sometimes we forget to do as brand owners or as agencies, and actually go through the customer experience on Amazon. And we're going to do that with obviously a key focus on Rufus, which is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, let me hear where you're from. All right, we've got a few people joining already. Some late night owls in Australia, pretty cool. Barcelona, awesome. Lake Tahoe, Dallas, Atlanta, awesome. Ian's still in Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles as well, so it's a little chilly this morning over here. I got my coffee and ready to go. But welcome everyone here. All right, Laurie Baum, I see you're on this, so you got to be in the webinar, which is good. So I'm John Tilley. I'm here based in Los Angeles. I'm the founder and CEO of ZonGuru, and we're going to spend some time today on today's webinar, really focusing around Rufus on Amazon. How do you optimize content for Rufus and really get more visibility with this new layer of search on Amazon? So we're going to talk about that. This is many webinars now in around the Rufus focus. So if this is your first time joining, go back and watch some of the other webinars that we have posted on YouTube or LinkedIn. We really dive deep into the breakdown of what Rufus is, what Cosmo is, why it is important, specifically the factors that you need to focus on to optimize for this layer of discovery, and diving into the various tools that ZonGuru has around this specific topic. It is a major opportunity for all of us in this new AI world, and if you're and there's a big shift happening, and if you're on top of it and you're ahead, you're winning over your competitors, and you can take advantage of it. So it is really important to go back and spend some time looking at the technicalities around it, which we cover in a lot of other webinars. Today, we're going to really focus on the next step in this, which is really looking at what Rufus is from a customer experience perspective and how different it is to the typical search on Amazon. And I want to dive in and show you that, and we'll talk about the ranking factors, what you need to do on your side as well. And we'll obviously include a special offer here and even give you access to our free, readiness reports, which will help you to understand how well you optimize for this awesome opportunity. How this is going to roll today, I'm going to, jump in and talk for 20, 30 minutes, somewhere around there, 20 minutes, I would say. What I encourage you to do is post questions all the time. This is hopefully an engaging webinar where I'll see your questions. We can answer them as we go through, or we'll save them for the end and we'll do a deep Q&A dive. We've got a lot of expertise here, not just on Rufus and Cosmo, literally across everything. So, no question is a bad question. You can ask anything you want. I'm here to help. And the more you lean in, the more I can give you the knowledge I have, or connect you with someone on my team that can really help you. So, let's dive into whatever topic is important for you. But clearly today is going to be a focus on Rufus. That's it. We're going to jump in. I've got a bunch of people live already, which is great. Atlanta, Dallas, we've got all these people, which is great. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my slides again. Thank you, Ivo, who's on our team. He's helping, in background to make sure this webinar runs smoothly. So I appreciate it. And we're going to jump over right now. And Ivo, if you want to bring that up. Sorry, my mouse is stuck. Hold on one second. There we go. All right. I want to just make sure that everyone can see my screen and I can see you. Yes, that's perfect. Great. All right. 1 second. I just want to adjust this if I can. Great. And I got the questions here. I can see you guys, which is great. And I can see Evo over here, which is great too. All right, questions are up. I see you guys. Fareed, what's up, man? How are you doing? Good question. We're going to come back to that. How to optimize PPC under Rufus. there's a lot of interesting stuff happening in that space, and we'll come to that. I'll talk a little bit more about PPC and what's happening in that space as we go, and what I think is the right focus for Amazon in this area. Okay, so let's jump into it, guys. 250 million plus people have used Rufus already, right? And what I want to talk about is, what it does differently. What is the difference between the Rufus experience on Amazon versus the traditional way of typing in a keyword, looking at your list of products, clicking on them, or clicking on a PPC ad? How is it different, and why are shoppers using this? And I'm going to dive into a specific actual use case and look on Amazon and show you Rufus and show you how different it is and how intelligent it is and how it surfaces your products and what's happening behind the scenes. That's what we're going to dive in today. We have a special offer as well, 50% off for the technology that we have around the space, which I think you're going to love. Yeah, if you don't know who Zonguru is, we have many tools that you can use as a brand or as an agency looking to optimize and grow on Amazon. Really, we are an AI forward company. We've been for many years, and we're here to meet Amazon's AI moment. And we have a big focus around content creation for your listing, which is really at the heartbeat of your Amazon business outside of your product. How do you optimize that content, both for human conversion and for AI readability? And this is your content, including copy and images. And we've got some exciting, cutting edge technology in that space. This moment is growing on Amazon, and we're absolutely here to meet it and help you guys to take advantage of this shift that is happening. So I always start with an unpopular opinion. Most sellers have never seen how customers actually shop on Amazon anymore. And, I asked that question of everyone sitting here or listening. How many of you have actually gone in and purchased the product through the Rufus experience only? Gone in there, typed in, found your products, done some different searches and actually try to understand how that experience, works for customers and how different that is to a typical search. And I encourage you to do that. We know this world today, not just on Amazon, but in general, customers ask questions. They don't type in keywords anymore. How do you engage with ChatGPT? How do you engage with Gemini? How do you engage with Perplexity? That is the new world order for all of us, whether you're shopping or researching anything. And how does that translate onto Amazon, right? And that's what we do. Rufus answers, compares, and decides. Listings are judged before they even appear in the search results page, and that is absolutely true. It will surface products before you even have clicked on anything, right? So it's pretty interesting. Keep the questions coming. Thank you, Stacey. We're going to jump into that. So the question there, and it's an interesting question, which is, what's the estimated percentage of Amazon customers still using the search bar versus customers using only Rufus? I don't know the actual percentage, but what is really interesting is that 250 million customers have already used it. And I'm going to share some other stats with you in terms of what Amazon is predicting around the additional revenue being generated by that channel. And also, what is the propensity for customers to convert to actually use it, which is actually significantly higher than just going through the typical SERP funnel. But if 250 million shoppers have already used it, and that was in 2025, think about what 2026 is going to bring, right? I'm going to talk more about, the trust aspect versus scrolling on Amazon. And there is a significant trust factor that builds as you have this conversation with Rufus, which results in a much, you'll see it when I show you, but it's a much higher propensity to convert, and your shopping cart value is much higher, right? I'll show you the secrets around that in a second. But just think about that from Amazon's perspective. If their shopping cart is of higher value than if they just go through the traditional path, how much are they investing in that? Because they're going to make more money out of it too, right? Trust is the new ranking factor. Rufus filters before the SERPs. Selection happens upstream. Some products never appear, right? So you see that, and we're going to show you. There's going to be, results in the middle, from typical organic rank that you won't even see surfaced in Rufus, right? So it is intelligently surfacing products based on a number of factors. We're going to touch on that. If you want a deeper dive on what those factors are, look at some previous webinars as well on YouTube that I have around that. But we'll touch briefly on what those factors are as well. Okay, so we have a free readiness report, which is a technology we've built to score any ASIN. You simply put in an ASIN, and it will give you a deep reading on how well the listing from a copy perspective is optimized for both semantic mapping, which is critical for the knowledge graph on Cosmo. Cosmo is the engine that drives Rufus, right? The algorithm. So there is a score around how to ensure that you map for this knowledge graph. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, and also Rufus Q&A. And also we tell you the reasons why it is strong or where you are weak and how to improve it. So I encourage you. I'm going to run one of these. Evo's going to run the reports while we keep talking, and then we'll show it towards the end. I encourage you, if you have an ASIN and you want to get it checked, just drop it in the chat. We'll run a report. I'll quickly jump onto that and show you what that looks like. And we can talk a little bit about that towards the end as well. So if you're curious about how well your listing is optimized or your client's listing is optimized for Rufus right now, drop it in the chat and we'll run that for you and bring it up. So I hope you jump in and we can check that out. Why is Amazon going all in, right? I want to bring this up. The first part here is Amazon has to do it because AI in general and conversational search is a threat to Amazon, right? We see ChatGPT, growing in usage every single day. We see it happening with Gemini, Perplexity, and most important is we see the movement towards an integration shopping experience into ChatGPT, for example, into Perplexity, right? People are typically searching, having a conversation, and then they are now surfacing through an integration with Shopify, Walmart. They're surfacing products in an e-commerce fashion where you can buy products there. That is a massive threat to Amazon, right? And so Amazon has to go all in on having a comparative conversational shopping experience where customers can research, ask questions, have an engaging conversation, get some recommendations, and then go ahead and purchase that on Amazon. If they don't own that conversational experience, they're losing that market share to all these other platforms, and that will be a killer for Amazon, right? So they have significantly gone in. They've made some massive progress in the last 8 months because they have this new algorithm called Cosmo, which is intelligent enough to give a quality experience. And Rufus is the competitor AI experience to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, etc. I hope that penny drops, but this is critical that Amazon owns that space, has the ability to offer that as an experience outside of just the typical searches, and can be of a quality experience that matches those others, and it is now. You will see it today. This is the other part: 60% higher propensity to convert from customers. Those 250 million customers that use Rufus, they have a 60% higher chance of converting on the products that are surfaced versus going through the typical keyword search, looking at listings, etc. Right? Why is that? Because there's a trust factor. They're having this conversation. They're getting their questions answered quickly without having to search through a listing, and they're building this trust factor with Rufus, and that's leading to a higher conversion rate, not only on the product they're looking for, but on ancillary products as well. I'm going to show you that as well. And then the other question there is Amazon is predicting $10 billion in additional revenue in 2026. So if that doesn't tell you that they're all in on this, there's a massive TAM and a massive opportunity. And if you're not giving the right signals to Rufus and appearing in those searches, you're losing out on that traffic, and you can only get your keyword ranking traffic, right? So big opportunity for all of you. Thank you guys for the ASINs. I see a whole bunch dropping in here. I'm going to leave it up to Evo to choose the one that he wants to bring up. But thank you again for all the ones that go in. Cedar, silly question. Where do I find Rufus on Amazon.co.uk as a customer? I'm going to show you. It's the same for Amazon.com as it is for UK. We're going to jump into that in 1 second. I'm going to jump in and show you what that looks like. This is the cool part of Rufus that I'm showing you right now. This is the intelligence, right? You have your typical path. You type in a keyword, you see some results, you pick the one that you want, you click on a paid ad, you look at a PDP, you go back, you make your decisions, you drop a couple in your cart, you find the best price, you buy it, right? Like that's the archaic journey that you go through on Amazon right now. Rufus is completely different. You can now open up the chat. You can research products. Hey, compare. I found this product. Can you compare this product to 5 other ones that are similar in price? And give me the benefits or the strengths of these, and tell me what is the aggregate on reviews, and from customers that have reviewed this, which one is the better product? These are the kind of questions you can ask a Rufus. Hey, find deals for me. Hey, my mom's birthday is coming up. She enjoys gardening and yoga. Find me the best deals on Amazon around this thing. I don't want to search for this. Just tell me, right? Reorder and track. Hey, 2 weeks ago, I put a whole bunch of things in my cart that I want to reorder in a month's time. Can you track them and, surface to me over the next couple of weeks when they are at the best price? And if it is at the best price, just drop it in my cart and actually just buy it for me. That's what you could do with Rufus. So it's intelligent, right? And think about what it's surfacing, and it's making decisions on those before you even looked at it. And if you're giving it the direction to buy it, it's going to go ahead and do that for you. Hey, I'm dropping an image of you have something I like. Find me products that are similar. It's reading that image. It's going to find those products and drop them in. Like, this is the kind of search experience that you can now have on Amazon, which is pretty incredible. And it's the quality of the experience is much higher than the example that I'm going through today. Is actually, I went through a typical example of something I wanted to buy, and I can tell you hands down that the Rufus experience was a way better experience for me in efficiency of finding the thing that I wanted, and other things that surfaced around that, and it was an enjoyable experience, right? So that's coming from me, right? So let's use Rufus like a real shopper, right? So we're going to jump in, we're going to do it, we're going to look at what I want to show you is like multiple types of use cases where we can type in different types of search phrases or questions to Rufus, and then what actually happens on the back end to showcase the functionality and the complexity of Rufus, right? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to jump into that in a second. So the product that I chose is a car booster seat for children. My kid just turned 5. One of my kids just turned 5. We're moving to the car booster seat, and this is a great example of something that you're invested in finding out. There's an emotional connection, right? You're invested in finding out the right product that's going to be the right match for your kid. Safety, functionality, different types of car seats. So it's a research type of product where you can ask very specific questions, or you can research around that. And high trust requirement is important, right? So if I'm not going to get a trust factor from any of the Amazon pathways that I'm going through, my propensity to buy is going to be much lower. So this is the typical search. I searched car booster seat for a 6-year-old. My kid's about to be 6, so I went to 6-year-old. And you see the typical experience here. This is Rufus, right? It's up on the left-hand side. This is what you're going to click on to see Rufus. And my bet is this experience is going to start taking over much more of the page and having a lot more visibility as Amazon leans more and more into it. But again, 250 million customers have used that already, right? So we're going to jump in and show you. I want you to notice this as we go through. Notice what Rufus is doing. It's not ranking on keywords. I guess you're not putting a keyword in and it's just returning results. It's assembling evidence based on the questions you're asking. It's researching, right? It's looking at reviews. It's looking at catalog data. It's actually using a technical term called RAG, where it's doing live retrieval from outside, even in certain cases, it's from outside editorial content to get an objective opinion, right? We see that with ChatGPT. It pulls on Reddit. It pulls on Quora, right? Rufus is doing the same with certain editorial content, which is significant because if you are placed in that, you're going to have even more of a chance of appearing. It's intelligently understanding what your customer behavior needs, wants are from your profile, and therefore surfacing products in a certain way, right? So there are some pretty interesting things that are surfaced as we go through it, and I'm going to show you that in a second. All right, so these are the prompts that I put together, right? I simply, we've got some real deep technical understanding of Rufus and how to optimize for it. And, I just prompted ChatGPT and I said, hey, give me a few questions that will help to surface some of the functionality and, give you ideas of how Rufus works. And these are some of the questions that came back. So broad research education. What should I look for when buying a booster seat for a kid, right? Why this matters. It matches Amazon search products, signals that are surfaced, right? So you'll get a copy of all of this and you can look at the detail of all these, but I wanted to give different kinds of searches, and then we're going to jump in. So, another one, which is understanding category understanding and reasoning. What's the difference between a high back booster and a backlist booster, right? It's going to look at that and come back with answers around that, right? So these are questions we're going to ask. Constraint-based decision making. What's the best booster seat for a small car and a tall child, right? We're giving it very specific requirements to focus on. It's going to look for those signals. If you're giving the right signals, you're going to surface, right? Trust, safety, and validation. What's the safest booster seat for long road trips, right? It's going to come back and give you an answer, right? And then this is the cool one, and we're going to show this, but like agentic action purchase ready. Add the best. Okay, so we've done some research. Add the best booster seat that you think is the right match for me to my cart. Add the top two. I want to see both of those in my cart, and then I'm going to choose. Or we're going to get a little bit more into this, but I'll show you how this is important for co-buy matching as well, which is one of the biggest things that most people leave out of their listing right now is signals around co-buying. Hey, if I'm buying a car booster seat, what are the other things that should go with that around experiences, around accessories, those kind of things? If you can give that signal to Rufus, you're going to appear in those searches as well. So, some really important things there that you should look for as well. Let's jump over to Amazon. And we're going to jump in and look at that. A question here, Laurie, what does RAG stand for? It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. So it's not a term specific to Amazon. It's actually a term that's specific to AI. And what it means is like, there's an LLM, right? And it's trained on certain models, catalog data, Amazon's reviews. It's trained on all this kind of data that is available on Amazon as an LLM. But they took a step with RAG, many months back, around being able to access live data, websites, other reviews, certain things that they want live information on. Maybe it's pulling, live information from what's in your cart, those kind of things. So it's pulling live information and then layering that on top of the trained LLM model to give it a much higher quality answer and something that's more objective or trusted or a better experience for people who are searching, right? So that was a significant step that LLMs took, has been able to pull on that live data to improve the experience that's happening right there. And so Amazon uses that in that, and that was one big step that it started to use. It's only a recent thing that it's added, and that's why even outside data outside of Amazon is important. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's keep going here. So okay, so let's jump over to Amazon and let's go through an example. And guys, feel free, if you want me to ask a different question, we can absolutely do that in this search right now. So let's go ahead and search car boost seat for 6-year-olds, right? This is the way we normally search. I've previously viewed some of these, so it's going to surface at the top of my page. I see some sponsored ads. I see the pricing. You guys get this, right? So I'm going to look through this and really, what stands out. Image is so important, right? Okay, cool. I'm going to click on one of these, right? I'll show you the one that I bought in a second, but that's the typical way. Maybe I'll use some of these filters if I want. This is Rufus, right? So I'm going to click on Rufus. It's already giving me some questions that I might want to ask, but let's go ahead. I've just written down the questions that we had right here, right? So I'm going to just select my questions so I don't have to type it and show you guys my bad typing skills, but I'm going to type it in here. What should I look for when buying a booster seat for a 6-year-old? Okay. So that's a different question to what's going on here. And it's helping me. Maybe I don't know what I want to look for, right? What's important, right? It's coming back, right? Hey, since you have a tall 6-year-old, what's interesting is it's recognizing my searches from my historical searches from yesterday when I did tall, right? So it's already recognizing that, but it's like saying, hey, safety must-haves, right? We're going here. High back design, side impact protection, multiple headrest positions. Interesting. Okay. Weight capacity, right? So what's the weight of my kid? Height capacity, latch system. Where does it latch? There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay. So I'm going to go over and ask another question. Hey, this one is important for me. So I'm like, hey, I want to see okay. That's a good start, but what's the best one for tall kids, right? Which is 57 inches. And for long road trips. Okay. So it's coming back and it's telling me something. I haven't engaged with anything on this side, right? I'm just gathering information here as I typically you know, want to look at, right? So it's coming back and saying, hey, based on your specific needs, okay, it's already giving me choices here. The Chico, why is this one for you? So how's this for a trust factor? It's coming back and saying, why is this one for you? Height excellence goes up to 57 inches. That's, I need something taller than that, right? So small, car perfect, long road trips, safety first, current price, 186. I'm going to say here, I need a seat. I haven't done this one, but I need a seat that extends longer than 57 inches, right? So I'm just putting that in there. Let's see what it comes back with. So let's put that in. Okay, let's go with this one, right? Is this the best price I can get right now, right? So I'm going to go back to this. Let's see what it comes back with. Perfect. I found two excellent options that extend beyond 57. The Britax. Okay, cool. The Diona Cambria. Okay, so I can look at these and I can say, wow, these good. Both extend to 63 inches. Great. Perfect for small cars, long road trip, safety certified. That's excellent. Okay. Britax 139 Dino. Now I'm going to ask here, let's go for the Britax. For the Britax, is this the best price I can get right now? Okay. So let's see. Hey, yes, it's consistent with the prices. Right now, we looked at the last 30 days of price history. The current price is 139. The last 30 days, the range was 139. So, hey, it's a pretty good time to buy this. I'm going to say it even gives me this. It gives me, I would like a cheaper one. Please look for 2 recommendations. Tell me why, and then add the best one to my cart that suits my needs, right? Put it in there. Let's see what comes back. So you can understand, like, this is reasoning that's happening. It's intelligently thinking about catalog data, looking at RAG, trying to look at all the different signals that are out there that can meet my needs to give me a good quality experience and recommend the right product. It's come back with a Graco, which is actually a really good seat, $74. Hey, it goes up to 57. So, I probably need a little bit of a taller one. The other one, it's also going up to 57. Costco topside backless. Okay. Let's keep going. So it's focused on the 57. I probably need the taller one. Let's see if I can do that and say it's added. I actually added a bunch to my card before, so I'm just going to delete these. Sorry guys, it recognized my searches, but let's go ahead, delete those and say I need the taller one up to 65 inches. Add to my cart. Okay, great. So we've gone through. We've got recommendations. I'm feeling good about it. I know I want the 65 one because I want the taller one for kids. It's going to add it to my cart. And then what we can do is say, for my long road trip, please recommend and add accessories to my cart. Just your top 5. Let's see what it does. So it's added the Diona. Great, $109. So it's the right price. I wanted the cheaper one than the 138. It's found the taller one. It's added that. I feel good about that. It's safety, etc. I could probably ask more questions around latches or anything else that's interesting to me. Now it's going to find some additional products, and this is where your average cart value can go up, right? It's added some products to me. I'm going on this long road trip with my kid. What is it actually going to recommend? Oh, it's come back. The travel tray. Okay, cool. Car seats. It's got all these cool things now. Why did it recommend that, right? How did it connect that as a co-buy behavior to that and actually trust that and put it forward, right? This person's, ASIN is well optimized and linking to this. So it's added this travel play. It's added, the travel tray. It's added this backseat car organizer. It's added a car cup holder, a travel neck pillow. Cool. And this car seat headrest tablet holder. So wow, that's pretty cool. And maybe I'm going to say here, am I missing anything? Add one more. Great. So it's adding one more. I'm looking at this. I'm like, hey, I don't want both of these actually, but this one looks really cool. I don't even need to click on it. It's kind of recommended it. I feel good about it. I'm gonna delete this one. Hey, my cart is now up to 199 bucks. Maybe it's gonna add one more right now. I haven't even engaged again with this, right? Oh, it's added a nice screen so my kid doesn't get sun in his eyes. Awesome. Love that. I'm good. I hit checkout, and I go ahead and purchase everything that's in there. If I want to click on it, I can go into here and I can click on this and start to look at things, right? But I've got my card. It's all added up. It's an efficient experience for me. I feel pretty good about things. And there's things here that are recommended that I wouldn't even thought of, right? A sun visor, a neck pillow, whatever those things are, right? I feel pretty good about that. I've added it. I'm going to check out. How crazy is that as an experience? And how do you make sure that you get recommended by Rufus and get surfaced? We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to jump back over and I'm going to talk about some of the technicalities and how you make sure that your content is actually optimized for all of this Rufus experience. Now, remember, this is all in Rufus. It's a layer of, research and conversational search where you can be surfaced. Yet I can also come over here and I can go through the typical search, right? I can click on this. I can look at this. I can try and surface, hey, what are, your product specs, warranty feedback, top highlights, right? I can kind of click on reviews the normal way. But how long is that going to take me when maybe I'm searching for something specific? I'm like, hey, I actually just want to know, does the seat you recommended have a back latch, right? Because it's really important for me to have a back latch. Is he going to tell me yes or no, right? So I can get to those answers without even literally having to click through a listing and looking at it. No, it doesn't actually. So, hey, I'm going to have to remove that and put another one in, right? So, those are questions that I can surface easily, get the answers, and then add it to my cart and keep going from there. I hope that makes sense to all of you. I'm going to jump back over to the presentation. We're going to talk about some specifics here. Let's just look at some of these questions here. Are there any tools that can show the searches or trends on Rufus? So no, not at this stage. There aren't any specific ones that say, hey, these are the questions that are surfaced. Remember, it is a black box. However, what kind of questions are asked in Rufus and how to connect and make sure that you surface for those, yes, that is being solved, and that's part of our product. And I'm going to talk about that right now and show you what that looks like, right? So there is no trend data at this stage, but we can absolutely show you how you can surface and how you should get mapped to that content. Okay, so again, going back, there's an old algorithm called the A9. We all know that. That is literally you put in a keyword. It's looking for that keyword being surfaced in your listing, how it's surfaced, how you're converting on those keywords, and then giving you organic rank position for that, right? That is still prevalent today. There is still a keyword semantic match that happens. However, there is this new algorithm called Cosmo, which is an intelligent LLM that does both of these. It is intelligent enough to look for the seeding of your most relevant keywords and then mapping you to all the semantic keywords that are out there in the universe that could drive traffic to your listings, which is great because you don't have to stuff your keyword full of your listing full of keywords, right? Those days are gone. Amazon actually dings you if you're stuffing keywords into your listing and putting in repetitive keywords, etc. You need to seed it with your most relevant high volume keywords that you want to compete on, and it's going to use that as a baseline to then match it to all the keywords that are out there. It's doing that job for you. Excellent, right? And then the other part of Cosmo is the Rufus optimization side, which is all of the different pathways outside of just typing in a keyword that people will use to find your product. We just went through a whole bunch there, engaging with Rufus, typing in different questions, getting that conversational search going. It's going to look for content in your listing from a technical perspective that it needs to then connect all the dots and say, hey, your product is the right product to surface for these. And there's a technical mapping that happens. What is the biggest benefit of all of that is, one, there's so many more pathways and ways that people can find your product. So you get maximized visibility, much more sales if you're optimizing for Rufus and for keyword search, which is great. And then the other part of it, which is really great for agencies and for brands, is now we don't have to be restrictive in how we put our content together on Amazon. We don't have to stuff it full of keywords, make it look like an ingredient list. We literally can write a listing as we should, which is longer sentences, explaining the feature benefits, the connection to your customers, your unique selling proposition, why your product is better than competitors' products, all the cool things that you should be talking about on listing, you can now do in your bullets, as long as you have the technical mapping on the back end. How do you technically map that? Well, we have a product that we use, which is that we've created, that literally maps it to what Amazon gave us. This is from Amazon. It's telling us, hey, if you have this mapping in place, this knowledge graph, we can then make sure we map you to all the relevant content. So this is it, used for function. What kind of functions is your product used? Used for what kind of audience, right? Is used on. So where do you use it? What location do you use it? Is it how do you use it? Is it on a body or in a room? Like what are the things that need to be used with? This is a really important one. That's the co-buy behavior. So Amazon is going to make a lot more money if it gets signals back from you saying your product is used with. I have an espresso maker. It is used with coffee beans, with travel mugs, with those are the kind of things that you need to surface in your listing content. So you want to prioritize the most important content that you want to communicate to your customers, your benefits, your unique selling propositions. But as you get through your content, you want to be able to make sure you talk to, the co-buy behavior, your certifications, experiences, right? Morning coffee, experiences, or whatever those experiences. There's a recipe for how you should create this content. How do you make sure that you create the right content? We have a tool called the Cosmo Transformation Service. We use AI. We look at the mapping. We look at your USP. We look at your niche. We look at your competitors. We give you the opportunity to help teach it about your brand. There's a whole bunch of things that go in, and then we write that content for you in the right sequence so that it's mapped to this content that you can use straight up as it is, or you can even adjust it, tweak it, do whatever you need to do at the final stages. So you have now this really beautifully written copy and your image selection, which we do a deep dive on as well. And that as your baseline that is mapped in the right way. We give you a score so you can see how well it's mapped, and then you can push that out, and you will surface for obviously keywords as well as for Rufus, and have the best chance of having your visibility. This is critical. It's happening right now, and if you're not on top of this and your competitors are, you're missing out on this, right? You're missing out on the ability to be surfaced without ranking for a keyword. Really cool. Some of the stuff that we talked about, right? What are the surfaces, the sources that Amazon Rufus retrieves from? Listing content, facts, claim, attributes, reviews, Q&A, catalog data, structured attributes, right? It's an LLM that's learning all of that. And then RAG, AI retrieval, and also your customer profiles, right? It's pulling in from all of the information. So those are things that you have to be aware of, and look at content and make sure you map for that. We do it for you. Write your listings in the right way. There's a deep webinar around the technical ways of how you should structure your content. You can go back and look at that, but it is important, and this is why our tool is so awesome. The Cosmo Transformation Service is this first point. You still need to make sure that you're writing your content for human clarity, emotional connection, and conversion, right? There's a human element to this. You need to make sure that you write it in the great way. AI does a really good job of doing all the research, pulling out the insights that matter to customers. We do that all for you, and we surface that in your bullets together with your USPs and anything else that you give us feedback on. So you have this really well-written listing that connects with the customer, but then it's also readable by AI, right? And so those are the two things that you need to do well. And AI can do all of that work for you, surface all the content, and then you as a subject matter expert can look at that, tweak it if you need to, and make sure that it fits what you need, and then you push it live, right? And we have case studies on it. We'll even show you a few that literally have amazing ranking. This is the Cosmo Transformation Service. I'm going to come back and give you, the details of how to access this. But these are all the things we do. We do the deep research, right, to surface all the things that matter to your customers, that are unique to you and that stand out from your competition. We've had so many customers come back and say, hey, I can't believe what you guys have surfaced. I've been trying to differentiate my product for so long, and I've never figured it out, and you guys did it. So we do all of that. We have these multi-agentic agents that are trained on your brand that you can give input on. So you have your brand tonality coming back. It's a research, you have research ones that obviously do the space, and then we surface that in the way that gives you control, and you can, you put that listing together. Now that's on the copy side and the image side, right? So we do a deep dive on the image side. We do all of this mapping for you. I'm going to show you as the readiness report how this maps, but all of that technical mapping, right? There's a lot that goes into that. We map that and make sure that you surface in that. We do it all on the Rufus side. We We surface the kind of questions that Rufus are wanting to, connect on and ask and get answers on, and we surface that and we make sure that you mapped to that so you can get surfaced in the right way. I'm going to jump through this in a second, but this is a listing. You get the readiness reports. I'm going to show you what this looks like in a minute, and how that scores. You then get your full content side of it, which is literally showing you what content you should put on there and then how well it's mapped. We go into all the mapping around A9, around the technical mapping, Rufus Q&A, and then we do a deep dive on your images. We tell you what your image stack should look like from a narrative perspective, what's the order of your images, what the image content should be, what your copy overlay should be, what your technical code should be on the back end so that it's readable by Amazon. And then we go into your EBC content as well, right? So all the information you need to make sure that you have the best listing for human conversion and technical mapping is done through our system. I'm going to just jump forward here and actually jump in and show you one of these examples. One thing I do want to point out is we have tracking, right? So on the tracking side, everyone is like, a lot of brands will come and say, hey, you're saying I shouldn't stuff all these keywords in my listing? I'm nervous that I'm going to lose organic rank and sessions because we've excluded those. We do A/B testing on that, and we come back with reports like this, right? Total sessions up 68%. So that's sessions and overall, right? How people are finding your listing, your sessions, your keyword indexing, your Rufus connecting is all happening. You're getting your sessions up, your niche rank is improving, your conversion rate is improving, because you're getting surfaced to relevant customers, but also because you have this great, well-written listing. And we measure, obviously other things like price, PPC, to make sure that it's actually based on the content, right? So these are things that we do. Let's jump over and let's see if I can get this from Evo. I'm going to jump over and show you one of these reports. Let me see if you can see my screen. Yep, you guys can see it. So here we go. When you come to the Cosmo Insight side, I'm going to give you a URL. You can go to, you get 5 free. And if you want more, come back to us, ask us, and we can check on your account and give you more if you need it. But to get you going, you get 5 free of these. You just put an ASIN in. Within a minute, you will get this full report back that you can download, or you can do a new report. This one is done for a roll-up tool bag organizer as one of the people here. You get this back. This score is 49 out of 100. That means there's some work that you need to do, right? You might have a great listing and great images, but if you're missing the mapping, you're not going to surface, right? So you got a 49 out of 100. There's things you need to improve here. I'm sure if you look at this, you might be like, oh my goodness, what do I need to do? Well, we're going to tell you exactly what to do right here, right? So it's telling you at a high level, how are you mapping? So it's saying your used for function you covered, target audience you haven't mentioned, the product type, like, what kind of product you have, you're not mentioning that, right? You can improve solving the problem, right? It's telling you you're kind of matching on that, but you can improve it. Used for, I bet you the used with, let's see, all right, it's the capable of, right? So compared to used with, right? I know this one is usually missing. This one's actually, it's saying you kind of there, but you need to improve it, right? Rufus Q&A, all the questions that need to be asked. Will it fit under motorcycle seats? That's a big audience here, right? Will it fit socket sets and ratchets, right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff here that you need to match. What color is the bag is even not surfaced in the content, right? So it'll tell you at a high level how you need to improve it. And then below that, it's going to give you all the reasons why. So, hey, your used for function, yeah, you explain this, but here's an opportunity. Add specific examples of the tool types that fit: wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, whatever those are, right? So it'll tell you that. It'll go down and tell you, hey, the time of the season, you need to mention more of that, right? The Rufus Q&A is going to tell you how many wrenches and screwdrivers. It's going to tell you all the things that you need to improve. So you can physically go to your listing, make all these updates, rerun the report, and you're going to map in a much better way, which will give you more access to all of that content that's out there, right? So it is an awesome report. Brands are going crazy for it. Agencies are absolutely going crazy for it, because it's helpful not only in you understanding as a brand how to improve your listing for this mapping, but it's also helpful for agencies in saying to their clients, hey, I want to show you why we need to make this improvement and how we can do it. And then obviously you go ahead and do it. But this is purely just telling you there's a whole audience out there, 250 million customers, $10 billion in projected sales that you might not be accessing through Rufus because you haven't optimized it. So optimize your content, get access to that audience, that universe of customers that are searching there. And Amazon is all in. So if you're seeing the right signals, it's going to give you more visibility, right? It wants you to bring more revenue to Amazon. So why not optimize, right? And then we do an A9 comparison as well. So there's a whole bunch in here that you can look at. How do you get this? I'm going to go back and show you. By the way, whoever that report is, if you drop your email in there, we'll send it to you. We'll email it to you. So, we can email it over. How do you get the free readiness reports? You just go to this link, zonguru.link/CosmoRS. Go to that link right now, type it down, zonguru.link/CosmoRS, or, if you go to our homepage, you can find it there as well. But this is an easy link for you to click through. And you will have 5 free ones. You can literally do that on your listing right now. Get that downloaded and see if you need to improve it. Do it for your best ranked product. Do it for your middle ranked. Try this on your middle ranked products and see if you can improve your overall sales, right? Remember, as a seller, it's not only improving your best products, but it's also improving your worst products, right? So go ahead and try this. How do you access this? We have an exclusive offer. This is a bigger discount than we have right now on our homepage. You're getting 50% off because you guys are people who raise their hand to learn more about this on this webinar. It is limited. It is limited time. You get 50% off when you order 3 or more listings, right? We're encouraging, we've been running this now since middle of last year. People have tested with listings. Now is the time to do more listings. You have to do it. So if you order 3 or more, you're getting a 50% off. It's a credit. So you don't have to do all 3 right now. You can buy the 3, do 1 right now, do 2 later. Support@zonguru.com is your best friend to help you through this process. We do all of the listing content for you. There's our tech, our human team that looks at all of that, make sure it's written in the right way. Before and after scores, all the copy, all the insights around your image side of it, or we even give you prompts to put into Nano Bananas to get the best images back. All your EBC content, all the technical data that you need to put on the back of your images to make sure it's readable. We give you all of that in these reports. You can go to this page and there's actually reports in a video that will explain and show you exactly what you get for this. But if you go to the link, and I think the link actually here is we just need to update this. I think it's zonguru.link/Cosmo50. If you want to just confirm that with me, Evo, that'd be great. But I think it's zonguru.link/Cosmo50, right? An O and then 50, right? And then the coupon code, if you need it, is Cosmo50 as well, right? So just put in Cosmo50. I'll just double check this right now with Evo. It looks like, yes, we're correct. Hopefully, Evo, you can let me know. But Cosmo50, that is your link to get this discount. And once you get the discounts, you absolutely can go ahead and get those ASINs. Do 1, do all 3. You can do it in bulk. So you would do your brand. There's a brand step where you teach the agent around your brand. There's a couple of questions you can answer. It's going to do deep research and say, hey, we understand your brand tonality. And then you can submit 3 ASINs if you want. And in bulk, it's going to come back with all of your product attributes, how you should write about your content. You have an opportunity to validate that content. And if you validate it, we then give you the final product. So we're doing all the research, but we give you an opportunity as a subject matter expert to give control to the outputs. And then you get the final outputs in a way that you can upload easily to Amazon. This is critical for you to test. The time is now. If you're not doing this, you are dropping in rank. I can guarantee you. We see it in results. Listings that are older than 6 months are dropping in rank. Yes, keyword intent is still there, but how much traffic are you actually missing out on, and how many sales? And if you do this now, is Amazon going to prefer you? And is Rufus going to trust your product over others? My answer is absolutely yes. And that's it. So we're going to jump into questions right now. So I hope if you guys have questions, we can jump over to that, and I will answer some of your questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and let's jump into a few of the questions right now. So good. This is your chance, guys. If you have questions, please drop them in. Oh, and Evo's posted the actual the links that you need, the Cosmo50, etc., in the chat. It is what I said on the slides. He's confirming it right here. But I'm going to go up and look at a few questions here and see if there's any that popped out. Thank you again for all the ASINs. Again, if you didn't get your report, you can go to that link and get it yourself. I encourage you to test that. All right. So here's a question from Oleg. If I have 10 variations of a SKU, can I write 10 different bullets to cover more answers? Yes. I think you can spread that out across your different 10 variations. Um, but remember, it's a mapping, right? So I think the important thing to understand there is you don't have to answer every single question. You have to answer the technical mapping and some of the top Rufus questions and answers. And it's going to map you, and it's going to be sophisticated enough to say, hey, you're answering all the things that we need. So I'm going to look for those edge cases as well, both on keywords and on Rufus, pathways that people find your product, and I'm going to map you to that as well. So, you don't have to go crazy on the listing and map for every single thing. It's going to figure out how to map you to all that. We've seen it's got that semantic capability, right? So you'll have your keywords in your listing, but it's going to map it to everything else outside of there. It's the same thing is going to happen on the Cosmo and Rufus side as well, right? So, but sure, if you have more than one lead, variation, seeding the other ones with it is definitely an interesting exercise as well. Where do you get the questions and ideas for optimization? So, or the Q&A, right? So we reverse engineer. We have technology running all the time, looking at what Rufus is looking to surface, understanding from an LLM perspective, what are the kinds of nodes and networks it's looking for. We get reviews, we get the Q&A that are happening on the pages. We're pulling all that together to then surface the top priorities and what you need to match for, right? So we do that, and we're constantly learning on that and optimizing and improving the model to get more and more sophisticated as we understand and reverse engineer Rufus, right? Given that Amazon is now controlling image order, how are you changing that? So Amazon doesn't control the image order unless you give it the option to do that, right? So Amazon is always trying to take control of your listing, which in my opinion is the worst thing they can do. They should give you the option to do it, but you can absolutely make sure that your order is there. And if you have ultimate control, and if you feel like it's taking control when it shouldn't be, you can go to Set Essential Supports and get that fixed as well. We've done it with many of our brands as well, right? What's important in the order, and this is what surfaced in the reporting, is like there is a visual narrative that happens, right? There's a visual narrative for humans. What I say in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, ninth image, if you have 9, from people read with their eyes, buy with their eyes, but what is the content and what's the story that you tell? That is critical for human conversion, but that order as well is also being read by AI, right? So what you're telling and what you're putting in your images from a image and a content copy overlay is critical for AI. It's reading that. You can take those images and drop it into Rufus and say, what do you read in this? It's going to tell you, much like LLMs, right? So it is really important. Do we know how optimizing for Rufus can hurt your A9 optimization, i.e. conversion comparisons? It doesn't hurt your A9, algorithmic. So the best way to explain it is it's keywords, right? So your keyword mapping has to happen. So there is an A9 aspect, or let's just call it keyword semantic matching that happens. And there is a pathway to matching on keywords. That is through, typing in a keyword, SERPs, PDPs, etc. Right? But this is a layer. Think of it as a layer on top of that. It's a discovery layer on top of that, which is Rufus, and it's giving you access to other pathways that simply are not being connected to your product through conversational search, right? So it is different. It's basically opening up a bunch more pathways and ways to be discovered, which is how people interact with conversational search. Cheers, John. This was informative. Yeah, awesome. Michael, no problem. I hope that really helped. If there are any other questions, please drop them in here. I'd love to answer them. I think we have a couple more minutes here. Sivan, no problem. We can absolutely give you, Eva, if you can take down that email address, that'd be great. We will send that over to you so you can get it, that report. So is your report looking at the back end or the front end of the listing? It is looking at the front end of the listing. So it is important, absolutely, to fill out the attributes that you have. As much as you can in your attributes, you need to put that in. And do it in not just a keyword way, but like in a sentence style way, right? The same kind of way that you do on the front end with this feature, attributes, benefit style thing. You can put that into your attributes, and certainly in your backend search terms as well. Make sure you putting those in, and that is still critical to do, right? We're doing it. If you're connected on Zonguru and you're using some of our tools, and certainly using the Cosmo transformation, we're looking at the back end as well. But obviously here we're just looking at your ASIN, so we've got access to the front end information on that product. So can we have 5 reports free? Yes, Joel, you get 5 free reports. On the Cosmo side, you need to buy 3 or more to get the 50% off. And those are 2 different things. One is a report, one is the actual transformation service where you can look at the report and figure out how you want to do your own listings. But if you want to technically map that in the right way, and have the better human conversion, use the Cosmo transformation service, insights on your images, EBC. That's how you make your listing the best. That looks like it for today. I hope that was super helpful. Again, today we dove into what we should all be doing. Go in, type in, and think of it like a customer and go through your Rufus experience. I certainly shop more like that all day because it is a better experience. I get my questions answered quicker. I get the target down to what products I want. Yes, I'm going to click on those listings and probably read reviews and do all that other stuff if I need to. But I'm narrowing down my research and getting my questions answered much quicker by using Rufus than if I'm just going to start clicking on links, right? And worried about paid ads that are coming in, etc. Someone had a question on paid ads. Yes, paid ads are starting to appear in Rufus. They're appearing in ChatGPT as well. That is going to be an interesting space to watch, but you have the ability to place ads now, inside of Rufus. Hopefully it doesn't ruin their experience and they remain more objective, but certainly they're going to grow that because that is obviously a path for Amazon to make more money, right? So, they're going to be careful about it, but it absolutely does happen. This is available for the UK and it's available for the US right now. Germany is a big market. We are looking at that, but at this stage, we're not looking at Germany simply because, the transformation service side of it is not English. So, that is where we're focused at this point in time, but it is coming. Again, we looked at those products. Do those searches yourself. If you need more technical information, go back to some of the other webinars we've done. And there is another one coming up, shortly. We have an agency webinar next week, I think, or the week after, where we dive in with different agency partners to look specifically at secrets they have that they can surface to you. We have a lot of webinar content coming out. Look at my LinkedIn. There's a lot of content there around AEO in general, around e-commerce, right? So, not only AEO for Amazon, which is Rufus optimization, but general LLM optimization. Go to my LinkedIn, look at that. We'll also surface stuff there that you can use on your Amazon business. And we look forward to seeing you guys back, on the next webinar. And I really hope you got some benefit out of this and you start searching more on Rufus. It is here to stay. It is going to take over more and more of the Amazon world. You need to be ahead of the game, and this is your opportunity to do it. Use OnGuru, and we're here to help as much as we can. And we're going to help you navigate this over the next while. We're at the cutting edge here, and we always will be. So I wish you luck with the business right now, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Cheers.